Hello everyone, Tech1421 here. Welcome back with another episode of Mega Moveset. Today we're going to be covering a Pokemon that I don't necessarily like too much, I don't use too much, but you cannot deny that it is a great Mega Pokemon in the format that we have, and that is Mega Mawile. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I don't use it too often. I don't really I guess I don't know. I see it pretty often, I guess, but I don't use it too often on my teams or anything. So, and before this generation where it became a Mega Pokemon, I never really heard a whole lot about it. I was pretty surprised that it got a Mega Evolution. It was actually one of the first ones announced, and its ability that it got is pretty darn fantastic for a Pokemon. So it's also an ability that a lot of other Pokemon have, such as Asmodee, and it can get, which is huge power. One thing that you're going to want to do when you have your Mega Mawile is have Intimidate on it to start with, because I think Intimidate's probably the best one that you get there. It does have Hyper Cutter, which doesn't do a whole lot, I guess, and then Sheer Force is pretty good, but I think Intimidate's the best just to have on there. It does a decent amount of little tricks there, but let's go ahead and go look at Mega Mawile, because that's why we're here. So you can see it looks like it's a pretty big, it's a beast, let's just put it that way, but you're going to want to put on that huge power. Obviously, it's the only thing you can put on, but huge power, what it does, this Pokemon's attack is doubled. So obviously we're going to be going for some kind of attack moveset on this thing, and the first thing you're going to want to do is max out that attack stats there, and it's going to go all the way up to 339. The attack stat isn't anything crazy, but with the ability it's gonna be doing a lot of damage. And then I decided to raise the defense up a little bit and the HP. It kind of works well with the moveset that we're going to be talking about, and it's Mega Mawile. It has a new type with the new type Fairy, and it's always been Steel, but it got a new typing in Fairy, which is pretty good typing, if I do say so myself. It is both immune to Poison and Dragon type, two pretty big types out there, but it's weak to ground, which is very commonly used on a lot of different Pokemon like Earthquake, and then it's also weak to fire. So those are the two things you're going to want to watch out for if you're building a team around this. I built a lot of different teams. I think if you have a Pokemon with Levitate and a Pokemon with Flash Fire, and you can kind of predict around that, it will synergize really well with this Pokemon. So look out for that. So yeah, we talked about the EVs, we talked about all that stuff. Now let's go ahead and get into the moveset. That's probably the most important thing. I think it is the most important thing. The first move that we're going to talk about is Substitute. I think Substitute is a really nice move to have, because a lot of different people out there are going to be predicting you to Sucker Punch first turn and try to kill them or do something like that. If you can get off a sub, then you are golden. I think if you get off a Substitute with any physical attacker that can hit for a lot of damage, then that has Sucker Punch and does a lot of damage, then you don't really have to risk them over predicting you. Because say that they go for some kind of hazards, or not hazards, but some kind of special condition type of move, like a paralyze or a burn or something like that. They go for something like that or try to confuse you. You have the sub up there, and that kind of works really well with the Sucker Punch, because when you use Sucker Punch, they're going to want to use a move, if they can predict the Sucker Punch, that is, they're going to probably want to use a move that doesn't necessarily attack you, so then Sucker Punch doesn't do any damage, and they get off some kind of special conditions on you. Well, if you have a sub up, they can't do any special conditions, so it kind of works hand in hand. I hope that makes sense, but that's my reasoning behind having Substitute. And that's also why we have the HP up a little bit, just because you can substitute a little bit more often, and you don't really have to worry about taking a whole lot of damage. And then the Swords Dance is there just to raise your attack, so you can pretty much one-shot anything if you get it up at ×2. If you get up at ×2, you're going to be two-shotting every single thing. I can't think of anything that doesn't get two-shotted by one of these two moves. If you get up at ×3, you might be one-shotting pretty much everything out there. So it's scary. It's really scary. Play Rough is just a stab move that works pretty darn well. It may lower the target's attack, It can work well with the Intimidate that you get off at the very start. It's a pretty good move. The only downside is 90%, so it does have the occasion to miss, and sometimes it will miss in critical situations, which does suck a little bit, but that's okay. And then the best move to put on Mega Mawile is that Sucker Punch. You can see the speed isn't that great. So if you want to get up a sub, you're going to want to do it on some kind of switch in, because they can, HP is not that great either, so they might end up killing you. But if you can get a sub off, if you get Swords Dance off and start sucker punching away, you're going to be doing lots of damage, and it's definitely a great Pokemon. I don't use it that much, as I said, but it definitely is a great Pokemon, and I definitely recommend people try it out. Try it out with something that has Levitate. Try it out with something that has Flash Fire on your team. It'll synergize really well. I guarantee it, and I think you'll probably like the results, and you'll probably win some games with it. So hope you enjoyed this one. I have a little bit of a montage, not too many clips, but there is a montage that is after this little moveset video. So if you want to check that out, if you want to leave this a like, that would be absolutely fantastic. And I'll see everyone in the next moveset video. Take it easy, everyone. Peace.